Hi and welcome to Take Time to Create. This is where we take time out of our everyday lives to create new and wonderful things. My name is Linda and welcome to all the new subscribers. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to work on a mixed media project, and I found these Prima marketing frames. They're these resin frames, very pretty frames. I found them in my stash and I was very excited to do a project with them. So this is the first project of 2019 that is part of my low buy. So I'm excited to show you what I created, and I'm excited to take you along with my journey and to show you what I came up with this little frame and the little mixed media project that I finished. So here we go, let's get to creating. Today we're going to work on a canvas panel, and it's just a 5x7 Artist Loft canvas panel, and I have these frames. They're Prima Marketing Shabby Chic Treasures, and they're just beautiful. They came with a little tiny cute one and a larger one, and I'm going to create a canvas panel with the larger of the two frames. And let's see here, what else do I have? I have this really pretty stencil, and I thought this would be really pretty to put in the background, and since it's white on white you can't really see. So I thought this would be really pretty to have this looking out almost like a window. And I'm just going to kind of raise it up a little bit. So we're going to first create a background, and then this is what this will all look like as we get going. Okay, so the background first. I really like this paper. It's one of those hot buys from Michael's. It's called Honeydew, and the paper here is just so beautiful. So I am going to pull out some sheets from this hot buy and we'll get started. So I picked the paper that's got like these strips on it. I might use those. And I picked 3 patterned papers. I have kind of a taupey colored one, and I have the greenish colored one, and then I have this really pretty one with lines and flowers. So I am going to create a background, and then we're going to put the rest on here. So yeah, let's start this background up, because that is the priority. And I think I'm going to go with this one a little bit on the lighter side, because then I'm just going to add more things on top. And I think what I'm going to do is cut this out, and I'm just going to cover the whole background with this paper. Nice and easy. Not really doing anything super crazy with this, because we're just going to add more on top. All right, so this is all adhered now, and I just smeared on some Daler and Rowney matte medium on there, and I just, you know, pressed it on. That's it. Not really complicated. Okay, so let's kind of plan this. I put a map underneath so I don't get my work surface all gooey. All right, I want it a little above, so I'm going to create like a scene or something, but I'm going to put it a little bit higher. So what I need to do, I think I need to stencil this guy first. And I like this paper a lot, and you can see that there's lines on it, and then there's beautiful flowers, which we'll probably use later, but I think I'm going to use, I think I'm going to kind of lay it on here anywhere, you know, just kind of go to town with it in the middle here, and then cut around the stencil afterwards. For the stencil, I'm going to use some distressed ink in black soot and just a blending tool. Okay, I kind of went a little overboard. This stencil is so fine. The details are so fine on it. It's having a hard time with the stencil, and I've used it before, and I used the stencil with paint, and it had a hard time with it. The details are just so fine. So I'm going to trace over it with a marker. I think that'll just be the easiest thing to do. All right, so I like that a lot better. I just quickly drew over it. I wasn't too worried about making it perfect, and I quickly cut it out. So now I have this, and it's gonna go on here. Of course, I'll trim it down in just a minute, but I'm just starting to get my composition what I want with this. All right, I think the background needs a little bit more. let me add some more detail. So I have some Lindy sprays that I'm going to work on the background with. I have Peony Scarlet Red and Time Travel Teal and Mission Bells Brown. I think these three look really nice together and they go with my color scheme really well. So yeah, let's just see what happens. All right, so let's get some colors on here. I think I want to drip things. Make sure you shake these up really good. And sometimes your nozzle gets clogged up, so you might have to clean it out, but... All right, oh, you can't see it very well. I'm gonna add some water, get some drips. Okay, cool. I have really been loving, boy, I really need to hold this so you can see it. Sorry, guys. I have really been loving Lindy's sprays. I haven't used them very much. This is a relatively new product to me. It's not a new product, but I have been loving it. Oh, yeah. Cool. All right. So I'm dripping things down. Sorry, I keep holding it up so you can't see it very well, but all right, let me dry this because I love it. This is what I want. Let me dry it. All right, we're all dry and I'm going to take the same distress ink and I'm going to distress the sides and a little bit on the edge because I want to frame this. Well, I want to look like a frame on there. All right, this is coming right along. All right, let me cut out the frame, the little picture on the inside, and I think I need to kind of add some distress inks on the background of this so that it's not so stark white compared to the rest of it. So I think I need to cut this out. Okay, so I'm going to be using Weathered Wood and Chipped Sapphire as my distress inks, and I really love using distress inks because it's going to give me a look that's not overpowering. Well, it depends on how you use it, but right now we're just going to lightly use it. Careful if your hands are dirty like mine. And I'm just very lightly blending on some color. I'm blending on some darker color on the outside. Then I'm taking this lighter color and I'm going to blend it together. And I'm going to blend these two together just like this. There we go. This is kind of outdoorsy, so you know, we're looking outside, looking at this swing. So it doesn't need to be perfect, just like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue my frame on, just kind of on the inside. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the inside and then I'm going to trim it so that it's flush, and I'm just going to use hot glue to glue it on. When I glue it onto the chipboard, I'm going to put lots and lots of glue, but right now I don't need a ton because it's just gluing onto paper, so this will be just fine. There we go. All right, so I'm getting ready to add all the elements on top, and I thought it needed some blue. There was no blue in the background. I just had the, you know, this teal color and pink and this brown color. So I did add some of this Bachelor Button Blue from Lindy's, and I think that really ties it together a little better. And so now it's time to add elements on top of this. So we have this really pretty frame, and I think, you know, I'm gonna dry brush this frame in a little bit of a tan color. I'm going to use Folk Art Sahara Gold, and I'm just going to do just a little bit because I feel like it's a little stark white to what everything else is. I probably should have done this before I glued on my little guy, my picture on the inside, but that's okay. Let's see, it's going to look so much better. There we go. I just dry brushed it with that Sahara Gold, and oh, I think that looks much better. I have this garnet red, and I'm going to lightly dry brush over the top of the little raised elements. I am just lightly going over those little edges just to highlight the little raised sections. They're so pretty. Now I think what I want to do is adhere the frame onto my canvas board. Let me move that out of the way. I'm going to adhere it with some hot glue, and I'm going to really make sure I have a lot of hot glue on the back. This is a pretty heavy element, and I want to make sure that it really stays. Modeling paste would work. Anything that will hold something like this. Kind of center it up. I want it on the top third, kind of in the middle. Center it up as best you can, but if it's not perfect, that's okay. We're gonna add more things, and life is never perfect. Oh, that's so cute. You can always leave it at any stage. At any point when I'm showing any one of my projects, if you're like, wow, Linda, that's enough, don't add more. Go for it. Just add as little or as much as you want. If you think, wow, Linda, you needed to add more, go add more. It's completely up to you. These projects are very customizable, and use what you have. I'm always a big fan of using the products and tools and supplies you have at home. So use what you have. All right, I'm thinking that we need some flowers on the bottom. I think that that'll really look nice because I feel like it's a little lonely, a little sad. So let's see what I have for flowers. I have some on my table from previous projects that I didn't quite put away, but that's okay. I'm going to use blues and pinks because that's what I have, and I have a lot of them. I don't use them a lot, but they just are usually in packages, and oh, these are pretty. I've got some, I think these blue ones I'm using are Prima marketing flowers, and I have, these are just paper flowers, Recollections. So of course these are really pretty too. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna make kind of a flowers and go up just a little bit on the sides, and I'm going to see what I have. I'm going to play with the composition, play with what I have, and bigger flowers, of course, I'm going to put first, and then I'm going to try to fill it in with smaller flowers and maybe a few metal embellishments. So let's get started. So we're back, and we're going to finish up this piece, and the next thing I want to do is add splashes. So I have a little paper towel, and I'm sticking that over the swing set area, and I have, let's kind of push that on there, and I have a little bin here of watered down white acrylic, and I'm just going to grab my brush, and I have another brush here just to kind of tap it on. There we go, super cute. And then we're going to add some pearls and rhinestones now. So let me clean up my mess. I'm all splattered. Let me clean up my mess and I'll be right back. So we're just going to add a few rhinestones here and there just to add a little bit more sparkle and just to give it that finishing touch, and that will be it. I think this little canvas piece will be done, and I'm loving the way that it turned out. It was very fun. Very fun to create. So let me do this, and then I'll get right back with you. And there we go, it's all done. I'm loving the way that this turned out. It looks almost like a galaxy in the background with the flowers and then the little swing, and all of that. Such a fun journey to create this. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and on my blog. I have two Instagrams, Take Time to Create and Linda's Journey 78. Take Time to Create is all my crafty goodies, art projects, up close pictures, and Linda's Journey 78 is just all my other things, my family vacations, and anything else I want to post. I would love to have you follow along on both. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.